Hey, hello guys, welcome to the another lecture series on electric charges and electric field. In this video, we're going to discuss about electric dipole moment and a small problem on electric dipole moment. And then we will discuss about electrical field along the axial line and electrical field along the equatorial line. Alright, so let's get started. And if you haven't watched the previous videos, I will give the link in the description. You can watch those videos so that you have a continuation. Alright. Fine. So the first thing that we're going to discuss is what is a electric dipole? What is a electric dipole? Right. So electric dipole is nothing but two equal and opposite charges separated by distance. So I'll take a positive charge and I'll take a negative charge. Both of them have the same magnitude. That means if I take 1 coulomb positive charge, here I'll take 1 coulomb negative charge. And if I keep them at a small separation, okay, so it may be in terms of millimeter or even in terms of micrometer. So when two equal and opposite charges are separated by a very small distance, then we call that as a dipole, electric dipole. Alright, so two equal and opposite charges, two equal and opposite charges, two equal and opposite charges separated by a separated separated by a very small distance, separated by a very small distance, separated by a very small distance is called electric dipole, is called electric dipole. Right. Now let us draw a diagram and see what actually they are. You can take a charge, positive charge plus q here, and a negative charge minus q here, and these two are separated by a small distance. Okay, these two are separated by a small distance. Generally the small distance that these charges are separated by, we take that distance as 2a generally. Now you might be wondering, why can't I just take it as a or l or something like that? Why am I taking it as 2a? There's a reason behind that, because going forward when we solve a problem it becomes easy, or when we derive a formula for electrical field along the axial line or along the equatorial line, it becomes easy if we take the distance between these two charges as 2a. Okay, 2a itself is the distance between these two charges. All right, now a will be half of the distance between these two charges. All right, now for a dipole, you take an electric dipole, we define something called electric dipole moment. We define something called electric dipole moment for an electric dipole. Now let us see what is that electrical dipole moment. All right, electric electric dipole moment, electric dipole moment, electric dipole moment. Now the electric dipole moment of a electric dipole is nothing but product of magnitude of one of the charge and the distance between them. It is somewhat like couple. You remember that two equal and opposite forces separated by distance is nothing but couple. And how do you measure the torque or moment of force due to the couple? It is product of one of the force and perpendicular distance between them, right? Or the distance between them, right? So here the electric dipole moment is defined as, electric dipole moment is defined as product of magnitude of any one of the charge and the distance between two charges. That's it. Now let me write that: product of magnitude of product of magnitude of any one of the charge, any one of the charge of a dipole, of a dipole with the distance between the two charges. Okay, you can simply say product of magnitude of the charge and the distance between two charges. So here I've written in detail product of magnitude of any one of the charge of a dipole with the distance between two charges, right? So that is electric dipole moment is represented by, electric dipole moment is represented by P, and that is nothing but product of magnitude of any one of the charge. I'll take magnitude of any one of the charge means you should consider only the positive value of that. So though you have a negative charge, we consider only the positive value of that, magnitude of that, with the distance between these two charges. Distance between the two charges is what? 2a, right? So this is your electric dipole moment of an electric dipole. Now this electric dipole moment is a vector quantity. Okay, it is a vector quantity. Let us write the unit. Its unit is what will be the unit? The unit is nothing but you can see this formula. It is q into 2a. Q is what? Charge. Its unit is coulomb. Okay, and what is 2a? 2a is the distance between two charges. So distance unit is what? Meter. So coulomb meter is the unit of electric dipole moment. Don't read this as centimeter. It is coulomb meter. Okay, be careful. And it is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Now, moment I say vector quantity, it should have a direction, right? So what is the direction of this electric dipole moment? Is from negative charge to positive charge. Okay, it's a vector quantity whose direction, okay, whose direction is from minus q to plus q. Okay. All right. Now they can ask you a question on this, finding a resultant dipole moment due to electric dipole. So since I have told it is a vector quantity, now how do you find out resultant? You cannot just directly add the dipole moment. Okay, you have to find the resultant. Now let's see. Let's take a small sample problem on that. Okay. Note. Let me write that under note. Okay. Let's say they have given two dipoles, or they have given a charge like this. Here you have minus 2q charge, and here you have a charge q plus positive charge, and here you have plus q. Now they have told that the distance between these two charges, here it is L and here also it is L. Okay. Now they will ask you to find out what is the resultant dipole moment, and also they have given the angle here is 60 degree. Okay, they have given the angle is 60 degree. Now they will ask you to find out what is the dipole moment of this system of charge. Okay. Now can you not visualize this minus 2q can be visualized to be minus q plus q here, and then another charge here minus q and plus q here. Correct now? Hmm? Yes. And now this angle is 60 degree. Now you see it is like a two vectors. One vector P, which is q into L. In this case I am taking the distance between these two charges as L. They can give, generally we take it as 2a, but they have given it as L, so we will take it as L itself. Okay. And the dipole moment of due to this this minus q and plus q is also q into L only. That is also going to be P itself. Okay, that is also 2L. Now we have two vectors P and P having an angle of 60 degree between them. How do you find the resultant? The resultant dipole moment will be root of p square plus p square plus 2p into p is p square cos 60. Right? Hope you remember the formula to find the resultant in vectors chapter in in 11th standard. Using parallelogram law of vector addition, you would have found the resultant of two vectors. Root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta, or you would have studied as root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. The same thing we are making use here. All right. Now cos 60 is how much? It's 1 by 2. Okay. So that 1 by 2 and this 2 will get cancelled, right? Then what you have? Root 3 times p is what you will have, right? Because this is root of p square plus p square plus p square is root of 3p square, and p square can be taken out of the square root, so it will become just p. So the resultant dipole moment, it is root 3 times p, and what is p? P is q into L, so root 3 times q into L will be the resultant dipole moment. Okay, so these kind of questions can be asked even in competitive exams, or even in board they can ask these kind of questions. All right, and now is that we discussed what is a electric dipole, and how do we define a electric dipole moment of electric dipole. We will go ahead and discuss what is the um, electrical field along the axial line of an electric dipole. How do we find the electrical field along the axial line of an electric dipole? Okay. Now this is very important derivation, a 5 marks derivation if you are either in a board, a CBSE board, or in a state board. Very important. Electrical field along the along the axis of a dipole, electric dipole. You can say electric field along the axis of an electric dipole. Electric dipole. All right. Now, whenever you have a derivation, you will have to draw a diagram and explain a little bit about the diagram. Very important. Okay? Because evaluators will always look, have you explained something about the diagram? You cannot directly just draw the diagram blindly, you can start deriving. No, that won't work. They will expect at least you write little bit explanation of the diagram. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So first let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to have say minus q and a plus q here. Minus q and plus q, basically electric dipole is what I've considered, and the distance between these two charges, generally we used to take how much, 2a, right? So 2a is the distance between these two charges. And now we're going to consider along the axial line. Along the axial line means what? Along the line joining these two charges, that is your axial line. Now I want to know how much is the electrical field at this point. Okay, so that point is P. At this point I want to know how much is the electrical field, and that point, let us say, is at a distance of x. Say that point is at a distance of x from the center. Okay, this point P is on the axial line at a distance x from the center of the electric dipole. And at that point, if I say the electrical field due to this positive charge is E1, and that will be in which direction? I've already told, the electrical field due to positive charge will be radially outwards. Okay, at this point P, the electrical field due to this charge will be radially outwards. That means it will be to the right. Okay, E1 is the electrical field at this point due to positive charge, which will be radially outwards. And the same point, the electrical field due to this negative charge will be in which direction? Radially inwards, right? So it will be to the left. Okay, it will be to the left. Let me call that as E2. Let me call that as E2. So E2 is the electrical field due to which charge? Due to minus q, due to negative charge. Okay, and now at that point P, there are two electrical fields, right? One is to the right and other to the left. Now how do I find out the resultant? So resultant will be the electrical field to the right minus electrical field to the left. Okay, directly I can do like that, or I can do vector addition. Vector addition of both the electrical fields will automatically give you the resultant electric field. Anything is fine. Okay, and now let us write how much is going to be this E1 and how much is going to be the E2. Let us do it in a vector form itself. Okay, most of the textbooks will make use of vector form of finding the resultant. We'll do the same thing. So E1, first we'll write the magnitude. How much is E1? E1 is due to which charge? E1 is electrical field due to which charge? Q, positive charge, right? Plus Q. How much is the electrical field then? What is the formula? K Q divided by the distance between the positive charge Q and this point P will be x minus a, because this distance is a from here to here. Okay, this distance is a and this distance is also a, correct? And now from the center to this point, overall distance is x. In that, if you remove this a, you will get this remaining distance, which is x minus a. So kq divided by x minus a the whole square. That is the electrical field due to this positive charge. And that is in which direction? It is along the positive x direction. Okay, so can I write that as I cap e vector, e1 vector is kq divided by x minus a the whole square I cap. I cap indicates the x direction. Remember that. Okay, positive x direction means I'll write it as just plus I cap. Multiply this entire thing with plus I cap. If it is negative x direction, then a minus I cap. I'll have to multiply it with the minus I cap. Then let me write here E2. E2 is what? Electrical field into the negative charge. How much will be the magnitude? It will be kq divided by the distance from the negative charge to this point P is how much? X plus a. So I can write as x plus a the whole square, right? And what is the direction? Direction is along negative x axis, right? At this point P, the electrical field E2 is along negative x direction. So can I just multiply that with minus I cap then? Because minus I cap indicates what? I cap indicates the direction of x axis. So if positive, if I just write plus I cap, it means positive x direction. Minus I cap means negative x direction. Now these are the two electrical fields. Okay. Now I need to find the resultant. To find resultant, you can now directly add these two vectors, because the vectors have already expressed in vector form. So to find the resultant, you can add vectors in vector form directly. Okay. Now, you used to say that you cannot add vectors directly, and how are you doing it? Yes, you cannot add the magnitude of the vectors directly, but if you write vectors in vector form, then you can add directly, not a problem. So if you want to add the vectors directly, then you should first write that in a vector form. See, I have not I have written that in a vector form now. E1 in terms of vector form means what? You should indicate the direction also along with it. That's it. Okay. Now therefore the resultant electrical field, I'm going to write here E net, the resultant electrical field is going to be E1 vector plus E2 vector. I'm adding it in vector form. I'm not directly adding the magnitude. Look at this. I'm writing it as E1 vector plus E2 vector. KQ divided by x minus a the whole square I cap. And now here E2 I have KQ divided by x plus a the whole square minus I cap, right? So directly I can write as minus KQ divided by x plus a the whole square I cap. Now what things can we take common from this? Can I not take KQ common from both of them? And I cap also I can take it out. So KQ, if I take common, then remaining thing will be 1 divided by 1 minus x the whole square minus 1 divided by x plus a the whole square, and I'll write the I cap here. I cap also I've taken out. Now let us simplify this. You can take LCM and simplify. KQ into, it will be x plus a the whole square here, and this minus as it is minus x minus a the whole square. Basically what I do here, how do I multiply it? How do I simplify this? Like if you want to take an LCM, let us say I have 1 by a plus 1 by b. How do I simplify it? Take this b and multiply with this, and take this a and multiply with this. So b goes with this 1, it will be b into 1 is b plus a into 1 is a divided by b into a. Denominator you multiply. Okay? So this is very basics. If you haven't learned in your elementary school, the primary school, not an issue, you can learn it here. Maybe I'll repeat it once again. If I have a by b plus c by d, this can be written as a into d plus c into b divided by ad. Simple method. Take this a d and multiply with a, and put this whatever sign you have here. If you have a negative sign, put it as a negative sign. If you have a positive sign, repeat the same thing here, positive sign, and then take this b and multiply with the c. Okay, so bc or cb both are same, whole divided by denominator should be multiplied. Sorry, this is bd. Okay, denominator has to be multiplied. So ad plus bc divided by bd. So that's how you write. So the same thing I'm following. This x plus a the whole square will get multiplied with this one, minus this x minus a the whole square will get multiplied with this one, and then whole divided by x minus a the whole square into x plus a the whole square. Okay. Now if you expand this I cap, I'll write as it is. So that is nothing but kq into, you expand this x plus a the whole square minus x minus a the whole square. Now you do the expansion and then you simplify. You will get it as 2xa in this term, and in this term also you will get it as plus 2xa. Why? Because x square plus a square plus 2xa minus of x square plus a square minus 2xa. So this minus sign, when it gets multiplied inside, you will get that x plus x square minus x square will get cancelled, plus a square minus a square will get cancelled. Here you will have 2xa, and minus of minus 2xa will be plus 2xa. So we'll get it as 2xa here, and whole divided by, in the denominator you can write this x minus a into x plus a the whole square. It is x minus a whole square into x plus a the whole square. Now you can combinedly write this as what? X minus a into x plus a the whole square. We can write like that. Correct? Now x minus a into x plus a is nothing but what? X square minus a square. Okay? A square minus b square formula is what? A minus b into a plus b. Similarly, x minus a into x plus a formula will be x square minus a square, and you have this whole square outside, so I'll write that as whole square here. Okay, I cap. All right, and now further if you simplify that, what do you get? We get that as kq into here 4ax is what you get in the numerator, right? 2ax or 2xa plus 2xa is 4xa, which is 4ax, and in the denominator I'll write it as x square minus a square the whole square as it is. Now I am going to tell you one important thing. Since the distance between two charges, that is this length of the dipole is very small. Okay, a will be very small compared to x. For a short dipole, this is very important, you should write this. For a short dipole, for a short dipole for a short dipole, x is very greater than a, or in other words a is very less than x. So if a is very less than x, then x square minus a square will approximately be equal to x square itself. Okay, so it's like I have x square, let us say it is 1000, okay, minus a square, it is just 1. So 1000 minus 1, 999 is approximately equal to 1000 itself. So that's why I'm saying that x square minus a square is approximately equal to x square itself. Okay, so I'm going to write here. So therefore x square minus a square is approximately equal to x square. So now if you simplify, I get that net electrical field as, here I forgot to write this I cap, yeah, net electrical field as k cube into 4ax divided by x square minus a square is x square the whole square will be x power 4, right, I cap. Now 1x here will get cancelled with 1x, so x power 3 will remain here. Okay, so then what do I get? I'll write this as k into q into 2a. Okay, and then see 4a can be written as 2a into 2, right? 4a can be written as 2a, 2 into 2a. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, so divided by x cube I cap is what I have. Now what is q into 2a? Elsewhere we saw. What is that? It is nothing but electric dipole moment, right? Q into 2a is nothing but electric dipole moment. So I'm going to write that as P. Okay, k into p into 2 divided by x cube, and then you have this I cap. Again my answer has turned out to be plus I cap. Okay, matlab I don't have any negative sign here. That means my net electrical field at that point along the axial line here, okay, at this point the net electrical field is along positive x direction. Okay, that is what this I cap indicates. Now easy way to remember is the net electrical field along the axial line, you can write it as 2pk divided by x cube I cap. There was a movie by name PK, right? So if you remember that, it's easy na, 2pk by x cube. See, that's the electrical field along the axial line. Okay, electrical field along the axial line is 2pk divided by x cube. Okay, so and that has turned out to be in positive x direction according to this diagram. Okay, according to this diagram, we can say that electrical field at point P is along positive x direction. Don't you see that is also the direction of dipole moment? Dipole moment is from minus q to plus q. That is also in the same direction of positive x. Therefore, we also write the electric field along the axial line, electrical field along the axial line as 2 to pk divided by x cube into p cap. So p cap is a unit vector in the direction of electric dipole moment. Okay, in the direction of electric dipole moment, unit vector is p cap. So basically p cap indicates the direction of electric dipole moment. That means what? The electrical field along the axial line is in the direction of electric dipole moment. That is what we should note here. Okay, I'm just going to write here the electrical field along the axial line, electrical field along the axial line is in the direction of electric dipole moment. Okay, electrical field along the axial line is in the direction of electric dipole moment. Okay, very important. So it's easy to remember, electrical field along the axial line at a distance x from the center is 2pk by x cube, where p is electric dipole moment, which is q into 2a. Now let us write a small explanation for the diagram. See, I'm supposed to write the explanation first and then draw the diagram, then do the derivation. But I thought first if we do the derivation, then you'll understand what to write and all those things. So let me write the explanation for this diagram. Consider an electric dipole. Consider an electric dipole. Electric dipole as shown in the figure. Let P be a point let P be a point at a distance x from where this point P is a point on the axial line. I'll also have to write that. Let P be a point on the axial line. Let P be a point on the axial line. On the axial line. At which distance? At a distance x. From where? From the center. Okay, from the center of dipole. And let E1 and E2 be the what are they? Electrical field. Due to which charges? Due to plus q and minus q respectively. Okay, respectively, as shown in figure. Done. That's it. Right? There's more explanation of about the diagram, right? So they will expect this. Okay, little bit explanation about the diagram is very essential. Now you can start deriving. You can directly start writing. E1 is I've already written what is E1. E1 is an electrical field to positive charge. I've already written that here. See, yeah? E1 is an electrical field due to positive charge plus Q, and E2 is what? Electrical field due to this negative charge. Okay, then you can start deriving this. So overall, we get the answer. The electrical field along the axial line. Instead of E net, let me write it as E axial. Electrical field along the axial line, okay, is 2 pk divided by x cube. Magnitude of electrical field is 2 pk by x cube, and the direction is along the dipole moment. All right, and now we can discuss electrical field along the equatorial line of an electric dipole. Electrical field along the equatorial line of an electric dipole. That is our next topic. This is also very important derivation. Just like this is a 5 marks derivation. Please make a note of this. Very important. 5 marks derivation if you are in a board. Okay, 5 marks. 5 marks derivation. Okay, very important. Even now, the derivation which we are going to do now is also 5 marks derivation. Okay, what is that? Finding electrical field along the equatorial line. Electrical field along the equatorial line. Electrical field along the equatorial line of a dipole, of an electric dipole. Alright, so we're going to consider electric dipole plus q here, and then we have minus q here, and the distance between them as usual is 2a. Okay, and equatorial line is nothing but a line perpendicular to the axial line of electric dipole and passing through the center. So that is my equatorial line. This is a line perpendicular to axial line and passing through the center of the dipole. Okay, this is perpendicular to axial line and passing through the center. Now that is your equatorial line. On the equatorial line at a distance x, okay, on the equatorial line at a distance x from the center, we are expected to find out how much is the electrical field. Okay, let us do that. So let us consider a point here which is at a distance of x. Okay, the distance of the point from the center is x. And at this point P, the electrical field due to this positive charge, okay, electrical field due to this positive charge will be along the line joining the Q and P radially outwards. Okay, let me call that as E1. E1 is electrical field due to this positive charge, and at the same point the electrical field due to negative charge will be along the line joining the point and the negative charge, but it will be radially inwards towards the negative charge. Okay, electrical field will be towards the negative charge. So I'm taking the electrical field due to this negative charge as E2. Now if I say this angle is theta, okay, then if I draw horizontal line here, okay, then this angle will also be theta. This angle will also be theta then, okay, because this is A and here also A, and this are all, this is a isosceles triangle, right? This is an isosceles triangle. So this angle also will be theta, and E1 is an electrical field due to positive charge, right? If you resolve that into two component, in this direction you will get E1 cos theta, splitting this electrical field along x and y, that is resolving, right? Whichever side angle is there, that side cos will come, as simple as that, okay? And the other side you will get sine. This will be E1 sine theta, okay? The upward direction, if you split this electrical field E1 into two component, E1 cos theta will be along x direction, E1 sine theta will be along y direction. Similarly, if you split this E2 into two component, okay, if you split this E2 electrical field due to the negative charge also into two component, okay, then you will get whichever side angle is there, that side cos will come. That's what I said, right? So this will be E2 cos theta, and in the downward direction you're going to have E2 sin theta, okay, E2 sin theta. Now remember, this electrical field E1 and E2 will be equal. Why? Because E1 is due electrical field due to charge Q, and E2 is electrical field due to the same charge Q but a negative charge. But magnitude of the charges are equal, and this point P is at equidistance from this positive charge and negative charge. Therefore, E1 and E2 will be equal. So that means E1 sin theta, which is in the upward direction, E2 sin theta, which is in the downward direction, will cancel out each other, right? So therefore, what will be the net electrical field at the at this point? It will be E1 cos theta plus E2 cos theta. These vertical components will cancel out each other. Okay. So therefore, the net electrical field, okay, will be just E1 cos theta plus E2 cos theta. Correct. And E1 and E2 both are equal. Correct, no? So therefore, can I write it as just 2E cos theta, where E is nothing but E1 and E2, both E1 equal to E2 equal to E. And how much will be that? How much will be this E1 and E2? I can write that here. Okay, here E1 is nothing but K into Q, KQ divided by the distance from the Q to this point, the whole square. So what will be the distance from Q to P, the whole square? That will be x square, this x square plus a square, right? Pythagoras theorem. Square of hypotenuse will be equal to sum of square of other two sides. I want square of hypotenuse in the denominator, right? Distance is square. So that will be a square plus x square. That is your E1, right? And what is E2? I'm writing magnitude of E1 alone. I'm not writing it in a vector form. If I have to write it in a vector form, that will be E1 cos theta I cap plus E2 sin theta j cap. I'm just writing the magnitude. And similarly, and what will be E2? E2 is also same thing, no? Which is nothing but K into Q divided by the distance from the point P to this charge, negative charge Q, is again distance square is again this x square plus a square. This is a right angle triangle. So x square plus a square. So E1 and E2 both are equal, right? So then what do I get? I'll be getting that as 2 times KQ divided by x square plus a square into cos theta. From this triangle, what is cos theta? Cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. Look at either the triangle to the left of this vertical line or to the right of this vertical line. So from this right angle triangle, cos is you can see that cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent is a, okay, and what is hypotenuse? It will be root of x square plus a square, okay, and then here you can write this as k into q into 2a, k into q into 2a. This 2a 2 I'll multiply with this a and write it as k into q into 2a. In the denominator it will be x square plus a square whole power 3 by 2. Can I write like that? Because it is x square plus a square multiplied by x square plus a square to the power of 1 by 2. So when the bases are same, you will add the powers. So here there is nothing means there is 1, right? So this will be x square plus a square to the power of 1 plus 1 by 2, which is going to be x square plus a square whole power 3 by 2, and that's what I've written here. And now for a short dipole, remember this is what we did even in the previous derivation, right? For a short dipole, for a short dipole, x or a is going to be very less compared to a is going to be very less compared to x. Therefore x square plus a square is approximately equal to x square itself. Okay, so therefore what do we get? The resultant electrical field along the equatorial line is k into p. Q into 2a is p, okay, divided by x square whole power 3 by 2. Now this whole power 3 by 2, x square whole power 3 by 2 will go inside the bracket. That means it will get multiplied with this power 2. So 2 into 3 by 2 is 3. So I can write it as pk divided by x cube. Okay, and that will be in which direction? It is to the right. At this point the net electrical field is to the right, and that is in the opposite direction of dipole moment, right? Dipole moment is from minus q to plus q. The direction of dipole moment is from minus q to plus q, but at this point p, the electrical field is in which direction? To the right. So dipole moment is to the left, the electrical field is to the right. That means the electrical field on the equatorial line, at any point on the equatorial line, is in the opposite direction of dipole moment. This is an important point to note. Okay, so I can write this electrical field on the equatorial line, equatorial line is in the opposite direction of dipole moment. All right, opposite direction of dipole moment. All right, so now to summarize what we discussed, okay, electrical field along the axial line is 2 pk divided by x cube. Okay, and what will be the direction of electrical field along the axial line? In the same direction of dipole moment. And electrical field along the equatorial line is pk divided by x cube. Okay, pk divided by x cube. Now if you compare both of them, you can see that electrical field along the axial line is 2 times electrical field along the equatorial line. That is an important note. They will ask what is the ratio of electrical field along the axial line at a distance x to the electrical field along the equatorial line at the same distance x. So that is going to be 2, because electrical field on the axial line is 2 times the electrical field along the equatorial line. So these two are very important derivations. You should remember them. Okay, so there are 5 marks derivations. Most probably if you are in state level board, surely they will ask this question. Okay, so that's all for this video. We will continue our discussion on this chapter in the upcoming videos. Till then, stay tuned. Have a happy learning. Thank you all. Bye bye.